Ah, the sweet sound of that V8. Oh, what the engine light? C manual, the engine light. What the hell's going on? Welcome to Nate's Garage. This is my new toy. This is Vader. I have to pardon the roar in the background. It's about 1 degree Fahrenheit here at Nate's Garage, on the outside at least. It's cold enough in the garage here to have frozen some pipes, so I'm trying to thaw those out. A little lax on getting the faucets dripping so that they wouldn't freeze up, and well, the hot water froze up. So I've got really cold water and I've got no hot water right now. Hopefully when it thaws out, it didn't spring something and spray crap all over my garage. What am I going on about here? If your car throws an engine light, you can actually go to most auto parts stores like AutoZone or O'Reilly or Advanced Auto probably, or Pep Boys, or maybe any of those places will be able to go out and plug into your OBD2 port and figure out what the engine codes are. What I have done is gone to my own personal savior, Amazon, and found me an OBD2 plug-in diagnostics thingy-bob. You can tell I've already had it for a while, and I've already taken it apart because I snipped the sticker where the screws are accessible. Anyway, we'll get more into why I'm doing that later. Different video. Went and picked this up for about 30 bucks. You don't have to get the expensive ones. You can if you want. I'm not sure if they do anything more than what this one does, but 30 bucks. And then I went and picked up on the Android App Store, I don't know if they have it for Apple or not, the Torque app. There is a free version, there is a paid for version. I did pay for the paid version because I thought it was entirely worth the 5 or 10 bucks. If you don't want to spend 5 or 10 bucks for an app that's as handy as the Torque app, then you're a cheapskate. Sorry, that's just how it is. Let me just address that comment. Everyone seems to bitch if any app costs any money. They seem to bitch if an app has ads. They seem to bitch if an app costs something to get rid of the ads. No one seems to believe that businesses actually need an income to stay open. No one seems to believe that they aren't just there to cater to your every need for absolutely free. I'm going to show you how this app is pretty cool, and if you like those features but you don't want to drop a $5 on the paid app, you might be a cheapskate. So for a total of $26.78, I have all the tools I need to diagnose any car made after about 1995, which is when they made OBD2 standard on cars. And you can plug this sucker in there, pull up the app, link to it with Bluetooth, and then pull the error codes off of the computer in the car. I've had this thing plugged into a number of cars now, an old 2006 Honda, a 2005, I think, Camry, 2017 Infiniti Q50. Yeah, go look up that review. That's a rental car I plugged this into just to check it out. It was one of the first ones I had it on. Basically, it'll work on any car. So what I'm going to do here is plug it into Vader and see if I can't figure out what that junk is on the dash. Now, it just so happens I know exactly what I did to it to force that problem, just so I could show you this. Taking one for the team here on the brand new car. I sure hope this actually works, because I'll be honest with you, I haven't done it yet, so I'm only thinking that it will. Anyway, let's get down to it. Where do you plug that thing in? It's going to depend a little bit on the car. Now, most every car I've ever plugged this into, I guess I've only really put it into like 3 or 4 cars before, but every single one of them has been up under the dashboard here, and every single one I've used before plugs in right about here. Ka-ching! Right in front of the pedals. You have to worry about kicking it when you're driving. So it's handy to get to. It's not really meant to be something you'd leave plugged in there forever. However, what I'm going to show you is stuff that you might want to leave plugged in there for a long amount of time. I got fortunate enough, and maybe Ford was thinking of this when they built the car, because they knew people would want to plug stuff into it. There is the OBD2 plug. That's what it looks like. It looks like the other side of that. See up here? So When I plug it in, you'll notice that it powers up, even though I don't have the key in the ignition or anything. Watch the lights here on the adapter. I have had this plugged into the car, but I've never used it to clear a code or anything. So you plug it in, you see a little light dance, and then you see the solid red light just to let you know that it's on. So what you want to do to actually read the codes out of your car with the adapter is to not turn the car on necessarily. You just want to put it in an accessory position. So we go ahead and put it into accessory. Comes up, but it doesn't start the car. And now that that's up, I can go into, in my case,
caution, icy conditions.
I guess Torque likes to tell you that it's cold out. All right, so if I hit fault codes here and then tap the screen, your mileage may vary depending on the app you use. You can see I have two what they call pending faults here. One is the mass or volume airflow circuit, and the other is from the intake air temperature circuit. These, apparently, the signals go all the way high when there is no sensor there. That's how a lot of sensors work. They either go full scale high or full scale low to let you know that something didn't work. You can tap on either of these, and you can get this little, it basically tells you the same thing here, but you can go into the web lookup and see what it gives you as far as information towards that fault code. So you can see here that P103, I am in a Ford right now, so powertrain, fuel and air metering, MAF sensor, circuit high conditions, cause, not set running, engine running, the PCM, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so there's your more information on that stuff. Going back to Torque here, what this tells you is where to look for the problem, whether it be you doing your own troubleshooting or whether you're trying to keep track of the service advisor wherever you're going to make sure they're not trying to tell you you need to change your blinker fluid or whatever the case may be. Let's go and find where I unplugged that sensor on purpose just to make this happen and fix the problem, shall we? Coming around here to under the hood, we have the mass airflow sensor. Now remember, the codes were mass air or volume airflow sensor, as well as the intake air temperature not having it something. Well, here's the intake box. It comes through this sensor that measures all the air going into the engine, and if it doesn't know how much air is coming into the engine, it has a problem running. You heard it, that's exactly what happens. It's because I unplugged this little sensor right here. So all I need to do is fix the problem, whether it be plugging the sensor back in or whether it be replacing the mass airflow sensor or whatever the case may be. That's for, you to determine once you figure out what's wrong with the car. You fix it, basically, and then what you do is go back into the car. Now we have fixed our problem, and now we can go back into the fault codes here in the app. What I need to do first is make sure I'm back in accessory position. So here we go. Not started, just accessory position. I will go ahead and refresh. There it is. Oh my goodness, come on. So we're not connected yet. Let's go back here. Make sure we're connected. There we go. Back to fault codes. Tap here to scan. Now we have our fault codes back, and you can see there's the engine light on right now, although it probably would be on anyway because the car's not started yet. But we can come in here to our menu and clear the faults from the ECU. Let's watch that engine light when we do that. Make sure of this and that and the other thing. Okay. Send in the clear command. It's going to take some time to do that. It's got to get in there and make sure it's okay to do that. It's got to make all the whatever's pixies dance around completed. So the engine light did not go out. However, if I crack the garage open here and then start the car, you can see the engine light just went right out. And apparently we are back in business, baby, because I plugged my sensors back in. So I've turned my phone around to landscape mode now for all you haters. What are some other things I like about this Torque application. One of the reasons I spent money on it was because of this real-time information right here. And check this out. You can basically make your own dashboard. So I've actually put this together just as a test. So I've got my G sensor right here in the center. That is basically monitoring the phone's acceleration sensor, so it has nothing to do with the car. But the coolant temperature over here, that's actually coming from the OBD2 port. The oil temperature apparently is not actually reported by the OBD2, even though I've got an oil temperature gauge on my thing there. But there's my revs, and you'll notice that as I rev it up, you see my little tachometer there going. And then you can have all these other things here. So the barometric pressure, for instance, I've got here, because, you know, I really care about that. Most of the stuff is just the stock stuff that's been in here. Here's some performance stuff. You can do a 0 to 60 or a quarter mile run, and it'll do its best to try and time that. There's all kinds of gauges you can do. There's a widget to eco-wise your stuff so the leaves don't fall off, or maybe they turn brown. I've never used it, so I don't know what happens there. Or there's, you know, all these screens that you can go through, and on any given screen you can get rid of or create something on that screen. Part of what I wanted to show you with this Torque Pro app is the track recorder, which apparently keeps crashing my screen recorder app, so I'll have to GoPro that part. So this track recorder basically is a dash cam that you can superimpose things like there's your engine RPMs, and there's an inclinometer there, or a pitch meter, or whatever you want to call it. There's a little map and a compass and the GPS speed and the OBD2 speed and all that stuff superimposed over the video. And when it saves the video, it saves that stuff superimposed over it. It's like it's already in the video. There's no adding it in later, you know, post-production, whatever you want to call it. There's none of that stuff. It is pretty dang cool, if you ask me. And you can make this look any way you want. If you just long tap anywhere on the screen, come on, baby. Long tap anywhere and hit a add display, and then you can add any of those meters that you saw on the, what's that thing called? On the dashboard part. You can add any of those as whatever you want, and here's all the sensor data that you can add for all that stuff. So let's say catalyst temperature, why not? Make it medium, and then you move it around to where you want on the screen. And now I've got my cat temperatures there on the screen as well, if I really wanted to record that along with this. And then this is also a, like I said, a dash cam recorder type of thing, so you can record while you are driving along with this stuff superimposed over the top of it. That's what I wanted to show you. I think that's about it for now. Thanks for watching and all that stuff. Peace out.